Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the Daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 17th as well as 18th March 2024, brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Okay, let's get into the today's newspaper analysis. Mentioned here are the list of articles which we are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. So have a look into it. Okay, let's analyze every article one by one. How the poll code took shape. So recently the election date has been announced. So the news is the model code of conduct is being implemented right now. So that is the reason why the news appeared in today's newspaper. Okay, let's look into the analysis of the news as well as the linkage of the news with the examination. So under prelims, the news is related to Indian polity. Similarly, under mains, it is related with GS paper 2 Indian polity through a subtopic called salient features of RPA Act, that is the Representation of People Act. This is how the news has been related with examination. So the model code of conduct will come into effect following the announcement of the Lok Sabha poll, which has been scheduled by Election Commission. Okay. See, the model code of conduct forbids the ministers from using official machinery for their poll work and from combining the official visit with their electioneering, that is for their election campaigning. So advertisements extolling the work of the incumbent government using the public money are to be avoided under the model code of conduct, and the government cannot announce any financial grants or promise any kind of construction facilities and make any ad hoc appointment during this time period whenever the MCC is under implementation. And Kerala was the first state to adopt the code of conduct for elections. It is during 1960, ahead of the assembly election in the state, the administration prepared a draft code that covered the important aspect of electioneering, such as processions, political rallies as well as speech. That is, these are all the three things that has been covered under the earlier model code of conduct in Kerala to regulate the election process of, during that time. And it was only in 1974, that is before the midterm general election, the Election Commission of India officially announced or released the model code of conduct. It also set up the bureaucratic bodies at the district level to oversee its implementation. And the code was also circulated during the parliamentary election of 1977. And until this time, the code has regulated only the code of political parties and the candidates. These two aspects only the code was initially regulating. And in 1979, during the all-party meeting convened during that time, the commission was, the election commission was apprised of the misuse of the official machinery by the incumbent government. The commission was told that the ruling parties the ruling party has monopolized the public spaces, making it difficult for the others to hold the meetings, campaigns or do any kind of electioneering activities. And there was an example of the party in publishing advertisement at the cost of public exchequers. And just before 1979 election, the Election Commission of India has released a revised code with 7 parts, with one part being devoted to the party in power. That is, the one part has been specifically allotted to regulate the political party which is in power during the election process. And model code of conduct has now evolved as the key part for conducting the free as well as fair election. And this is what the analysis of model code of conduct is about, and this is how the model code of conduct has evolved over the period of time. And what are all the things which we needed to be further aware of is, we should be aware of the Election Commission of India, its constitutional backup, what are all the articles which gives powers to the Election Commission of India. Secondly, we should also be aware of the new selection process for the chief election commissioners as well as the other election commissioners. And then we should be aware of what is first past post system as well as the single transferable vote and the difference between both of them. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. India's FOREX kitty expands 10.47 billion to 636 0.05 billion during this week. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the relation of the news as well as the further analysis of the news in the upcoming slides. Okay. Under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development. Similarly, under mains, GS paper 3, economic and development, through a subtopic called Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development and employment. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So India's FOREX kitty has jumped by 10.47 billion, that is to 636.095 billion for this week, during this weekend. And in October 21, the country's FOREX reserve has touched the all-time high of 645 billion. But after that time, after October 21, it has reduced drastically because of the pressure that has been made on the rupee because of the development in the global arena. And the FOREX currency asset, which is the major component of the reserves, has been increased by $8.12 billion, that is to taking the overall foreign currency asset to $562.352 billion. And at the same time, since it has been expressed in dollars, the foreign currency assets, which includes apart from the dollars, the euros, pounds, yens. So these are all the things which will be adjusted to the dollars, as a result of which the relative appreciation as well as the depreciation of the denomination will also be accounted, which in turn will be contributing to increase or decrease in the forex reserve. And the gold reserve has been increased by $2.299 billion to, that is the overall to $50.176 billion. The special drawing rights were up by 31 million to $18.211 billion, and India's reserve position with IMF is also up by 19 million to, that is the overall count has been increased to $4.187 billion. So let's look into the forex reserve. What does it mean, and what are all the components involved and comes under it, and which is the governing authority of it. They are the reserve asset being held by central bank, and they may include foreign currencies, bonds, treasury bills and other government securities. So the reserves are denominated and expressed in US dollars, which is the international numerals for this purpose. That is to have a common denomination, because forex reserve is nothing but the combination of multiple other countries' currencies. So that to have a common denomination, the dollar denomination has been used for coming into the conclusion of the overall forex reserve. So the biggest contributor to the India's forex reserve is nothing but the foreign currency asset, and it has been followed by gold, which is very important from the perspective of prelims. So what is the advantage does it holds? See, they are used to back the liabilities of the countries and to support the exchange rate crisis, like in the case of India during the past 1 year, and to tide against the rupee weakening, and then attract the foreign investment. So whenever the forex reserve in the country is healthy, means it is a good sign that it will act as the pull factor for the global investor to invest in the economy. So this is the advantage of the forex reserve. So what are the things which we needed to be further aware of is, we should be aware of the IMF, World Bank, United Nations Organization, and its structure, function as well as its objective. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. So what is SIMA? Google's DeepMind new AI that can play video games. So Google's DeepMind artificial intelligence named SIMA has been introduced to play, which will play video game with the humans. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the relation of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to current events of national as well as international importance. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 3, science and technology, under a subtopic called IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology and issues relating to IPR. So this is how the news has been related with examination. Okay, Google DeepMind has revealed a new artificial intelligence gaming agent called SIMA, with the full form is Scalable Instructable Multi-World Agent, and which can follow the natural language instruction, that is the human language, and it could able to perform the task that has been given to it in the video game environment. And it can what does it mean is it can simply play video games with the humans by understanding the game and also the understanding the psychological aspect of the human. So SIMA is also a step closer to artificial intelligence that can intelligently collaborate with humans in doing tasks potentially in the real world environment. And what does this SIMA is about? See, the Google DeepMinds describes SIMA as an AI agent which is different from the AI model, like in the case of OpenAI's ChatGPT. See, AI models are trained on vast data set but are limited when it comes to working on their own. But in the case of AI agent like SIMA, they can process data and they could able to develop themselves individually. And SIMA can be called as generalist AI because they could be able to perform wide variety of tasks, and it is the super smart computer program and that can be thought as the digital explorer with the ability to understand user needs and help create things in the virtual world. So this is what the SIMA is about, and this is what the speciality or the advantage of the SIMA is about. So what does or how does the SIMA work? See, SIMA understands the commands such as building a castle or finding a treasure chest as it can process the human language, and it is also capable of learning and adapting through the interaction it has with the users. The more one interact with SIMA, the smarter it will get because of the learning as well as the adaptation, which in turn will be leading to improvised performance, as a result of which it could be able to be deployed in the customer engagement process. And at the current stage of AI development, it is the major feat for an AI system to be able to play at least one game, but the SIMA able to play multiple games. So which is the advance in the artificial intelligence, and the Google is hoping that SIMA and other AI agent will be able to use video games as the sandbox to understand how the AI system can be more helpful to the humans in the future course of time. So this is what the application of the SIMA is about, or the speciality about the SIMA is about. So what are the, and how was SIMA trained? That is to arrive at the final product is. So Google's DeepMind collaborated with 8 game studios to test the SIMA. With every game, SIMA's portfolios opened a new interactive world along with the range of skills for it to learn. So during every process, it has adapted and it has acquired the skill which is required to perform the task, so that it improvised itself in the process of time. So what need to be studied further is we should be aware of what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is natural learning, IoT, quantum computing, blockchain technology, and as well as the 3 realities: augmented reality, virtual, as well as mixed reality. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Why Karnataka has banned the food coloring used in the cotton candy? Recently, the Karnataka has banned the usage of the coloring agent in the cotton candy because of its cancer-causing agent, cancer-causing properties. So this is what the news is about, and let's look into the relation of the news to the examination. Under prelims, the news was related to Indian polity. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 2. Indian polity, that is through statutory, regulatory, as well as other constitutional body. So this is how the news has been related with examination. Okay, Karnataka government recently banned the use of popular coloring agent in the preparation of gobi manchurian as well as the cotton candy. The consumption of snacks containing these artificial colors may pose a long-term health risk which includes cancer. An artificial coloring was found in 107 of the 175 or the 171 gobi manchurian samples been tested by the state government, and 15 out of the 25 candies that has been tested by the health department of the state. Based on this, an order was issued banning the use of the prohibited artificial colors, which including the rhodamine in gobi manchurian as well as the cotton candy. So what is this rhodamine B is about, which is the agent that has been used for coloring the which is the one of the agent that has been used for the coloring purpose of the cotton candy as well as the gobi manchurian. So the rhodamine B, the coloring agent, in any case is not fit for the human consumption, because it is not one of the permitted food coloring agents under India's food safety regulation, which comes under FSSI. And rhodamine B gives red and pink color to cloths, paper, leathers, plastic to which it has been used, and it may lead to toxicity if it is being ingested. And exposure to this chemical may also damage the eye and also cause irritation to the respiratory tracts. And while the international agencies for the research on the cancer, that is the WHO body that maintains a list of cancer causing agents, says it cannot be classified as the carcinogenic to humans. The WHO is saying like that, but despite it, the government has banned the cancer causing agent in the coloring agent for the cotton candy as well as gobi manchurian. So is rhodamine B frequently added to the food products in India? No. Why? Because rhodamine B is usually reported in the small roadside vendors in small cities. In the case of small vendors, because why it has been used frequently by the small vendors is that they are not aware that this dye is harmful to the health of the people. In the case of large city, it is only the edible colors that has been used to give the coloring effect to the foods, which has been permitted in most of the regulatory standards in India. So what food colors are allowed by Food Safety Act or the Food Safety Regulation in India is, see, according to FSSI, the country's apex food safety regulator allow the use of very few natural as well as synthetic colors in food items. There is also a restriction on which colors can be used in what type of food. Rhodamine B is a common red dye and it is used in holy colors, and it is thought to be a carcinogen, and it is not permitted to be used in the food products in India, and only 10 colors are allowed to be used in food. So what the experts are saying is that the permitted natural food colors includes carotenoids, which is yellow and orange, chlorophyll, that is green, as well as riboflavin, which is yellow, caramel and annatto, which is orange red, derived from the seed of the American tree, saffron and curcumin, which is yellow from the turmeric. And permitted synthetic colors include red from the ponthieu and carmozine as well as erythrosine, and yellow from tartrazine and sunset yellow FCF, blue from indigo caramine and brilliant blue FCF, and green from fast green FCF. So these are all the synthetic as well as natural coloring that need to be used in the food in India. So these are all the things with regards to the news. So what are the things which we needed to be further aware of is, we should be aware of what is FSSI and what is trans fat and what is cancer and what is the different types of the cancer that is prevailing in India. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Iceland volcano spews lava again. So the news is related to the recent volcano in the Iceland. Let's look into the relation of the news with examination. Under prelims, the news is related to India and world geography. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activities, cyclone, etc. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So mountain Hagafell in Iceland has erupted, and it is the 4th time since December. So why it has been erupted is, see, Iceland is located in the mid-Atlantic ridge. The ridge separates the Eurasian as well as the North American tectonic plates, making it the hotbed for the seismic activity. So that is the reason why the frequent seismic activity or the volcanic eruption being seen in the Iceland. And it mostly a submarine running along the length of the Atlantic from the south. And this features of the geology has given rise to Iceland's unique landscape and made up of geysers, glaciers, mountains, volcanoes and lava fields. And Iceland is home to 33 active volcanoes, the highest in the Europe. And this unique landscape has given the Iceland the epithet which is called as land of fire and ice. So this is what the features of the Iceland is about. That is the reason why frequent volcanic eruption that has been seen in the Iceland. So what are the other volcanic prone region in the world? So there are 4 types of other volcanic prone region. First is circum-Pacific belt and the mid-continental belt and then mid-Atlantic belt as well as the intraplate volcanoes. So these are all the other four volcanic hotbed that has been prevalent across the global level. So these are all the things which we needed to be further. These are all the things with regards to the news. So what are the things which we needed to be further aware of is, we should be aware of tsunami, earthquake, El Nino as well as La Nina, what it is and what is the characteristic of it and how it has been formed and what impacts does it create. These are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Let's move on to today's practice prelims question. Mentioned here is the today's practice prelims question. So those students, those who are watching this session online, please do comment the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. So with this, we have reached the end of today's session. Please do like, comment, share as well as subscribe Ganesh's YouTube channel so that you will be receiving the daily current affairs session as well as weekly environmental as well as science and tech session and the other session that will be brought to you in the future by Ganesh Academy. Thank you.